Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. The price of Bitcoin has soared past $64,000 and is now flirting with important short squeeze closure levels above $65K. This is a good sign for the cryptocurrency. ETFs are having yet another great day. Craig Wright gives up and says on his website that he is not Satoshi Nakamoto. Trump picked J.D. Vance to be his vice president, and he is in favor of Bitcoin and crypto. There are more and more dominoes falling. Hey there, this is Bitcoin Daily. My name is Dante Cook, and I'm the CEO of Swan Business. Right now, people still look like they don't know where they are. In other words, how could these things be happening? It was kind of like listening to Ingrid Andress last night during the 2024 MLB Home Run Derby. Its price is going through the roof though, like a baseball that flew off of Bobby Witt Jr. and T. Oscar Hernandez's bat last night during the swing-off. There are short positions worth $8 billion that will be closed if Bitcoin goes over $65K. Germany made the mistake of selling a little too early, as did most people who are just learning about Bitcoin. Right now, everything looks good for Bitcoin. Over $300 million came into Bitcoin ETFs today, the same amount as yesterday, and finally. The truth is coming out. Fake Satoshi Nakamotos like Craig Wright are being shown to be wrong in public, such as putting a notice on their website that says they are not Satoshi Nakamoto. A few months ago, if you did business as a Bitcoin company or promoted Bitcoin in your company, you were likely to be banned or turned off from companies like Stripe. Today, the $65 billion payment company announced that it will let its European customers buy Bitcoin on its platform using debit and credit cards. Let's talk about a story change. Another story is that J.D. Vance, Trump's choice for vice president, has a lot of plans that support Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Along those lines, it was said in 2022 that he actually had up to 6.5 Bitcoin. Are you optimistic enough? Wait for it. He talks about and views current SEC Chair Gary Gensler in a completely different way in this video. If there is a person who could be the worst, at least in my mind. Even though we have some major differences, I think Gary Gensler is a nice guy. Okay, so Gary Gensler has a view that is pretty much the opposite of mine, and Gary and I have two problems. The first is that I think he wants to bring politics way too much into the business of stocks in the United States. Still, Gary's method to regulating blockchain and crypto seems to be almost the exact opposite of what it should be. This is the more important issue, or at least the most important issue for this conference. That being said, and this is probably too simple, but the SEC seems to ask when it comes to crypto, is this a ticket with value? They seem to want to ban it if it's a question or a ticket that can be used. They don't seem to care if it's just a token that doesn't do anything. It almost seems like we should be the other way around here, right? I'm worried about financialization. To be honest, I'm not sure if a lot of the crypto stuff is real or not. But if a token has real value, then by all means control it and watch out for how people use it. You don't want to just throw this away though, and this is where I really worry. A lot of the newest social media competitors, the social media leaders of 2024, will need blockchain technology to run their businesses. Perhaps they will need a key that can be verified. I talked to friends who are still in the venture capital business, and the most interesting companies to them are the ones that are doing real things in communications in the 21st century, or 2024, and those companies often use high utility tokens to do things like verification. Because if we don't make verification possible, it will be very hard to compete with the companies that are already in the area. We can see cracks in the system all over the world. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. When things are breaking, they're hard to hide for long. Last Friday, the Japanese yen hit a 38-year low against the dollar. To keep it from going lower, $13.2 billion to $22 billion were used to intervene. It's going back up to that same level of 159 again, like a zombie from Thriller or The Walking Dead. Will Japan's need to sell U.S. Treasuries be the first thing that pops in the U.S. debt bubble? The same way letters fall off the Jacksonville Wells Fargo building. The system is beginning to show cracks. And by the way, the price of gold has been a reliable indicator for over 5,000 years of whether the system is broken or not. Today, the price of gold has reached an all-time high of over $2,400 an ounce. If the price of gold hits a new all-time high, it's likely that the economy isn't doing so well or that inflation is staying high. If that wasn't enough to make you optimistic about Bitcoin, check out this tweet from President Joe Biden and his administration today. It says that he's going to build 2 million homes in America and reform rent laws across the country to lower housing costs. As if the government getting involved in something has made it cheaper. Did you know that you could buy a different kind of rare investment vehicle? As with real estate or homes, digital real estate or Bitcoin digital property that can't have more stock printed on the market is something to think about. Oh, and Nvidia is the only company that has really done better in this digital space. It's not a company I know you've heard of. It's called MicroStrategy. Oh, I see. That's a Bitcoin company that set up the first Bitcoin treasury for a publicly traded business. Something to think about. We also know that Bitcoin is very good at soaking up cash, and the market seems to think that the Fed will cut rates in September. I'm not sure how true this is though. In fact, it gives this event a 100% chance of happening. One of the most important things the Fed has been looking at is inflation. They said they needed more information on this before they could lower or cut rates. We know that job growth is slowing down and turning bad, but they wanted inflation to be a little less high and sticky. Well, the New York Fed says that their multivariate core trend rate is now 2.4%, which is the lowest it has been since 2020. Do you think that gives the Fed enough to work with? We'll see. Something to think about. The question isn't just a question of words either. Because Bitcoin is about to go on another bull run, you should think about how you are going to protect your Bitcoin. Do you know what you need to do to learn about self-custody and protect this life-changing asset? Do you want to learn everything there is to know about self-custody? Then come to our free webinar tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Christian Amundsen from our engineering team and Brandon Black and Terrence Yang from our Swarm private team will be going over all the ways and steps for self-custodying your Bitcoin. We understand if you can't join us in real time. Once more, it's at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. To get the recording, all you have to do is click on the link in the description and sign up. Thanks for coming and have a nice day. This is Dante Cook from Swan.com. Have fun stacking.